right now.
Right.
This marriage is struggling. It's hurting. It's not perfect. It has some major issues in it. And the framework actually redeems it. It says, we'll take this broken thing and we will help make it better. That's why we love the secure marriage framework, is because it is so powerful, even if only one person is starting to apply it in the relationship.
Welcome to the Secure Marriage Podcast, where we believe it's possible to fight less, feel understood, and enjoy a deeper connection with your spouse. We're your hosts, Paul and Shannon Elmore, and on today's episode, how to start moving forward after an affair.
Perfect.
Thank you.
When people go to securemarriage.com and they sign up to see the 3 free videos that are on the homepage there, they get several emails that link them to those videos, as well as a couple of emails after that with tools and resources and ideas and tips and all those things. This last week, we got a reply back to one of those emails from someone who is in a kind of a painful situation. You want to read that email?
Yeah, I'll read it.
We can kind of talk about it here?
Yeah. It says, my husband refuses counseling or any relationship course after revelation of my infidelity 1 year ago. How can we move forward?
That is a huge question, and I actually see it all the time in my office as a counselor. When there's some level of infidelity or a major breach in trust, it always doesn't have to be an affair, but anything that creates a major breach in trust, it's really hard for couples to come back from that. We know that this person is not in a unique situation.
Right.
There's 2 things that she and her husband need to understand that will help them be able to move forward and progress out of this painful situation that their marriage is in right now. One is a concept that we've talked about in some other videos, talked about the 3 doubts.
Right.
For those who have never heard the 3 doubts, whenever there's a major breach in trust, it's always hard for the person who's been hurt or has had trust broken in some way to feel open or receptive or even warm fuzzies towards the person who's done the offense in some way. And so there's kind of 3 stages or 3 doubts that wounded person has to go through. The first one is the doubt of sincerity. That's where if I was the one who broke trust with you and I did something wrong, I can come to you and I can go, I really want to change. I really want to make it better. And you're going to be doubting what?
That you actually are telling the truth, that you want to, that you can.
Yeah, you doubt that I'm sincere
about
that
it.
I actually want to change. But after a while, you probably will find out I actually am sincere. I'm sorry. I have broken heart. I feel bad. I need to make it right. And so I do feel sincere. And after that, we move into the next stage, which is the doubt of ability. So I might come to you and say, I really want to change, but you are now doubting what?
Whether you actually can or not.
Yeah, you don't know if I actually can, if I have the ability to change. And again, in those first 2 stages, the trust is still low and the warm fuzzies are still low. We're not connected.
Right. And you may have even done 1 or 2 things that would possibly prove it.
Yeah.
But I don't buy it yet.
You don't buy it yet.
No.
And so let's assume that is. I actually demonstrate I want to change. I actually demonstrate I can change. I'm doing some things and there is actually some progress happening. And then you move into the 3rd doubt, which is the doubt of durability.
Right. Whether it's...
I want to change, I can change, but
I don't believe it's going to be a lasting change.
It's not going to last. Those 3 stages, those 3 doubts are absolutely normal for everyone who's had a broken trust in a major or significant way. And it isn't until the offending party, again, if I'm the one who's done something wrong, it isn't until I demonstrate consistency and authenticity and vulnerability through all 3 of those stages that you will actually start to soften towards me. You'll actually start to be receptive and open to my wanting to change, my ability to change, and the belief that it will last for a long time. That's when trust will start to go up, and that's when the warm fuzzies will possibly come back. There is no determined time how long those 3 stages will last. For some people, they last, a couple weeks, couple months. For some couples, it can actually take a year plus.
Right.
Depending upon the infraction, depending upon what was done that broke that trust. If it's a pattern of breaking trust.
Right.
So one infidelity instance versus a pattern of affairs or inappropriate sexual experiences with other people, that falls into kind of the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
Right.
twice, shame on me. People don't want to get duped or played again.
Right.
This woman and her husband, sounds like he is just solidly and clearly in that I doubt your motives, I doubt your
Right.
abilities, and I doubt that it will last. And so I'm keeping myself guarded and protected and shut down in some way. And again, that's actually very normal. That's appropriate. That's understandable. That's where the second thing comes in here, which is even if your spouse doesn't want to work on the marriage, doesn't want to change, doesn't want to put the effort in, still learning about the secure marriage framework, still applying these very proven, research-based, experientially based, all of these 6 parts of the secure marriage framework will actually start to change you, will
Right.
start to change how you relate to your spouse while they are hurt, while they're mad, while they're distanced. And when you do that, it actually starts to create an invitation, not an expectation.
Right.
It says, I'm working on the marriage, and the other person really can't deny it. They can't ignore it
Right.
for that long. And through repeated, continual, consistent behavior, moving towards proper, healthy behavior, you can actually start to see the relationship start to change.
Right. We talk about that a lot, that you don't have to have your spouse to do the secure marriage framework, to learn the tools, to be able to start putting them into practice. Because when you do that, it actually...
Helps you become a healthy human being.
Yes, and your spouse notices, and the people around you notice. It's undeniable, the changes that start to happen within you. And when you start making those changes about yourself without someone telling you you need to change, or I expect you to change, or I want you to change, you do that on your own. Boy, it's like an eye-opener for your spouse. And that's where...
Yeah, it redeems a wounded marriage right now.
Right.
This marriage is struggling. It's hurting. It's not perfect. It has some major issues in it. And the framework actually redeems it. It says, we'll take this broken thing and we will help make it better. That's why we love the secure marriage framework, is because it is so powerful, even if only one person is starting to apply it in the relationship. It's not a guarantee. I wish there was a magic button where we could say, you just do these 3 magic things and your spouse will fall in love with you and pursue you deeply. That would be false advertising. That would be a bogus promise. And most people realize it's not that easy. It takes time, effort, and energy to rebuild that trust, but trust actually can be rebuilt. And that's why, again, the secure marriage framework gives hope to a lot of marriages that have felt detached or distanced or lonely for such a long time.
Right. I love that word. It gives hope. I was thinking that that there are probably some people that go, well, I'm going to do this with the expectation that it will make my spouse change or love me or want me more. And if you go into it with the expectation, then it's not about changing yourself. It's about changing your spouse. So you have to go in with this hope of that I'm going to be able to change my life and change things about me that really need work. And the hope that my spouse is going to notice and it's going to make changes in the marriage.
In one of the modules, we talk about awareness plus intent equals hope. I'm aware that I need to change something. I have intention or a plan on how I'm going to change it. And that can give you hope that things aren't going to stay bad or be as messed up as they are right now. Things can get better. What I would want this woman who wrote into us to hear, if I can just take a minute, this is painful. This is a difficult situation, but it is not beyond hope. There is actually a few things that you can start to do, even if your husband's not there yet. We understand. It is actually fairly appropriate for him to have some levels of doubt or mistrust or hurt. And it would be great if he could get a little bit of help, but it's not expected right now. If you put that pressure on him, it'll probably actually push him away even more. Instead, the thing that you have the most control over is changing yourself and demonstrating to him that you have, again, that awareness and that intention with a plan. And that will give him hope and will actually help him soften. Now, when he does, don't go overboard. If he goes, okay, I might be sort of possibly interested in doing something to maybe work on our marriage, don't start scheduling all the appointments right away and getting him, that will kind of scare him off. So kind of go slowly, kind of go on his timing, so that he can still feel safer and his feelings are validated, that he will understand that his experience actually matters in all of this. And then lastly, you actually can begin learning the 6 parts of the Secure Marriage Framework. You can do that right now online by going to securemarriage.com and just hit the Register Now button, and you can get access to the online workshop. One of the things actually I'm most proud about that workshop is it actually costs less than 2 counseling sessions with a couples counselor. We priced it at a point where it is highly reasonable to get help right away, and you don't have to wait to coordinate schedules, and you don't have to do 10, 15, 20 sessions with someone, which is a fairly large financial investment. You can get to learn all of these principles, which are the exact same principles I use with my clients and the couples that I sit with. It's the exact same principles, but you can go through it when you want, where you want, as much as you want. And again, that will start to be contagious, and you'll be able to change your marriage starting today, starting right now. If this isn't you, but you recognize your marriage is still struggling and hurting, and you would like to do something to learn about these principles in the Secure Marriage Framework, securemarriage.com is the best place to start. You actually get 3 free videos. They're going to tell you about the communication framework and how bad communication leads to conflict, which leads to more bad communication, and now you're stuck fighting in that conflict cycle. Or you can learn how to change your communication, which actually leads to connection, and that leads back to better communication, and now life is rosy and happy and all better. And the 6 parts of the Secure Marriage Framework get you from the conflict to the connection. It'll make sense. Anyway, thank you for writing in and asking us that question. If anyone else has questions as well, we'd love to be able to answer them and address the specific issues you have and respond to it exactly like this in our podcast. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show this week. If you want to find out how you can build your own secure marriage, go to securemarriage.com. And if you have a chance, subscribe to our show on iTunes or however you get your podcast, and leave us a review while you're there. You can also write us at podcast@securemarriage.com or follow us on Facebook. We're Paul and Shannon Elmore, and you've been listening to the Secure Marriage Podcast, where we believe it's possible to fight less, feel understood, and enjoy a deeper connection with your spouse.